welcome to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here today with another episode of Quilt Math. Yay, Quilt Math! And the rest of you are going, ugh, Quilt Math. It's okay. This one's easy today. This one's really easy. This one talks about a very pretty subunit that is called a quarter square triangle, and they're just so much fun to make. Once you get going on them, they're great. You know, there's a lot of fun, and you make two at a time, right? So it's perfect. But first, let's get to our shout out. Michelle from Bits Pieces Quilting is just a really good friend of mine, and I enjoyed her company very much with our community round robin so long. So I want to give her a shout out over the quarter square triangles, because it was we had quite the adventure, and that was one of her rounds. As she did all these beautiful quarter square triangles. They were just so. It was probably my favorite border in that community round robin. I do have to admit that was my favorite one, because she just glowed, right? Just twinkled. It was wonderful. So first off, now before we get into this, we speak for free for quilting guilds and quilting groups, and I talk about Elma's design, working with scrap fabric, and making charity quilts. So if your group is looking for any of those three topics, I'd be happy to come talk to them about it and fit you into the schedule. We also have a Facebook group. It's warm and welcoming, and wow, is it growing fast. And we have a virtual sewing room that we have for the Facebook members under Discord. So if you want in on the Discord room, you got to message one of the admins, other than myself, because I had a hard time getting into Discord myself, but it's worth it now. I do try and go as often as I can in there. We also have fabric exchanges. We do numerous community chats, and it's what are you working on, denim quilts, free patterns, where to find free patterns, and all these fun things. It's like, wow, there's so much stuff to do if you get involved with the free chats. And there's also things like, Thankful Thursdays, Saturday snippets. It's just wonderful. Oh, working with denim. If you're working with denim, there's a whole chat there. And there's so much information in all of those chats that you get, for joining the chat. Also, share, like, and subscribe our channel and Michelle's, because Michelle's YouTube channel is going to be in our show notes as well. With your quilting friends and quilting guilds and buddies, I'm, if you share, like, and subscribe, our analytics are saying over half of you aren't subscribed. And I'm like, thank you very much for the views. That's great. But make comments too, right? If you can make comments, you're helping us with our analytics. And even if you've got time only to put a heart down, we're happy with the heart, because we know life is busy for everybody. We also have Zoom sew dates and we're there from now until the end of May. But as we get closer to camping season with our grandkids, then we'll put out all the dates from now until December, and it'll be those Zoom sew dates are so much fun. Bring projects that are inspiring you, not something necessarily that I put out, unless of course you have questions on what I put out. But yeah, it's a great way of people gathering and having a great time. Spring Fling with Strings came out way ahead on the voting poll. We did one just in the Facebook group. So that's what people wanted, was Spring Fling with Strings. And we're going to run that like a mystery sew-along. And I'm already sewing it, and I'm having so much fun now. String Fling with Strings. Spring Fling. I can't say that fast. Anyways, they're coming out after the Quilt Math. We're doing a couple more Quilt Maths, and then we're going to do Spring Fling. And then we're going to do Quilt Bingo. Quilt Bingo is a skill builder, and it's lots of fun, and it'll be great one for the beginners and the more seasoned ones. We're going to do some easy blocks, and we're going to do some hard blocks. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So anyway, so let's get on to the quarter square triangle. Now this, excuse the poor drawing, but anyways, this is the unit, the subunit I'm talking about. Okay, this is a quarter square triangle. And what you do is you lay two pieces down, of fabric down, and then you make, with your magic wand, a line across going one direction. Right there with the magic wand, and you sew along 1/4 inch on both sides, right? And then you match it with another, half square triangle, and then you make sure that the line goes the opposite way, so you get 4 different squares on your quarter square triangle. Now I've shown people how to do this on videos where we've used this subunit. And I do recommend that you change your switch plate from a mouth to a hole if you have 2 stitch plates for your sewing machine, because it doesn't suck up the half square triangles so quickly. And it is a really fun, quick block to do. But you make 2 out of every unit, right? That's why it's kind of like, you make 2 out of every unit. So you end up with a lot of these units at the end of the day. And they're just so much fun. They're fun and scrappy and happy and everything. Now, the quilt math. Okay, this is where we go. The finished size is the finished size plus 1.25 inches, right? Makes 2 quarter square triangles, right? It's a finished size. So there's a finished size and an unfinished size, right? So for the beginners out there that are having problems with this, the finished size of a block is the size of the block it is when it is all sewn into a quilt top, right? So a 4-inch finished block will end up being 4 inches within a quilt, but it measures 4.5 inches unfinished, right? So when it's just a unit all by its lonesome, right, then you have this 4.5 inch, unit that you got to trim down to 4.5 inches for it to be sewn into a quilt where it will finish at 4 inches. Is everybody clear on that? There's 2 ways of measuring this. So now with this what I'm using, now I just picked some very basic block sizes, right? Because this one's not too bad, when it comes to like, your finished size plus 1.25 inches. So a 4-inch block, finished block, you're going to be cutting your squares at 5.25, 5.25 inches, and you're going to trim to 4.5. Now that trim to is your unfinished size. So that's very important for you guys to remember. It's an unfinished size and finished size, because your unfinished size is adding, including the seam allowances, right? Now it does make 2, right? So be careful when you're cutting out your blocks. You're not cutting out too many of them, and that they take into consideration this. Now, if you don't, like when you're using this chart, you're making a square, but sometimes you don't have the option, your scraps are too small, right? I mean, you simply can't get, let's say, a 5.25 inch square out of your scraps, right? So this is where this comes into play. This ruler here it's the shape of a half square triangle, and what this does is takes this measurement, right? Now this works in unfinished sizes, right? So you have to be a little careful. It's an OmniGrid product, and it is just really a great little thing to have handy around the house, when you're doing this. So if you had to cut out the half square triangles, this is where your straight grain would be, and this is your bias edge, right? So your bias edge is what you're sewing together, and your straight grain is on the outside edge, this outside edge, right? So yeah, this is a really good tool, but it does rely on unfinished sizes, I believe. So that's something to keep in mind, that like you're gonna, oh, okay, we gotta think about this on unfinished sizes and finished sizes. So this is a good tool to pick up if you are dealing with smaller size scraps, if you want to make quarter square triangles. It does make quick work out of them. So, but yeah, this is, oh, I can't even remember what it's called now. They call it a certain thing, but it has all the markings down from 1 inch to 12 inches. So, it's a good size. It's also good if you're putting stuff on point. It's a really nice one to have when you're putting stuff on point, because it will tell you this is your straight grain, right? So, let's see what else. No, that's about it. That's about it. So I hope everything in your life is going really well. This is such a fun unit to make. And again, it's a very common subunit, so this is a really good one to master because it's a lot of fun to do. Yeah, I hope everything goes grand for you this week, and your 1/4 inch is just perfect. Wouldn't that be lovely? So until we meet again, I hope you guys stay well and take care. All right? Okay, bye! My husband and I would like to thank you for all of your support and watching our videos and sharing and liking. It has just been, you've put us on such an amazing journey and we are having so much fun. I hope everything is going so well in your life and, you know, your 1/4 inch is perfect. Everything is working out for you. And we're just so happy to be part of your life and you having, like I say, you're watching us. I was just so thrilled that you're doing that. So I want to say goodbye and I want to thank you with all my heart. Okay? Take care. Bye.